In the closing years of World War II, when the tides of war were shifting and empires were beginning to crumble, one submarine slipped quietly into the Pacific. Its name was I-52, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Carmeo, and its mission was unlike any other. This was not a hunter of ships. It was a messenger between two collapsing powers, Japan and Nazi Germany. This is the story of the mysterious submarine. It was March 10, 1944. Japan's war machine was starving, and so the Imperial Navy turned to a desperate gamble: submarines used as cargo ships, running between Japan and Germany in a mission called Yanagi, where submarines were used for technology exchange. Only the fastest, largest submarines were chosen. Among them, I-52, a massive 356-foot I-class giant, capable of long-range travel across the world's deadliest oceans. It left Japan carrying 2 tons of gold, much of it intended to pay Germany for advanced technologies, 3 tons of opium, 54 tons of rubber, 2.2 tons of tungsten oxide, quinine, tin, and other strategic materials. Its mission: trade this cargo with the Germans in exchange for radar technology, weapons, and engineers. Its crew of 95 men knew the risks. Many had said goodbye to their families knowing they might never return. As the submarine disappeared beyond the horizon, few imagined it would vanish forever. By June 1944, I-52 had crossed the equator, survived storms, and slipped past Allied patrols. It was approaching the mid-Atlantic, where it would rendezvous with the German U-boat U-530. But the Allies were waiting. Unknown to Japan, the Americans, through the U.S. Navy's FRUPAC codebreakers, had cracked Japanese naval codes. They knew everything, starting with the Yanagi Mission traffic, the cargo, the rendezvous point, and the exact time I-52 would arrive. And so the U.S. Navy assembled a hunter force. Leading it was the escort carrier USS Bogue, accompanied by destroyers and aircraft armed with a new secret weapon, the Fido acoustic torpedo, designed to hunt submarines silently in the ocean's black depths. June 23, 1944. On the surface of the Atlantic, U-530 waited in the moonlight for I-52. To help guide the Japanese submarine in, the Germans released a discreet radar beacon into the water. This device was called a Bokum buoy, a radio beacon used to signal friendly submarines. But the beacon also told the Americans where to strike. Far above the dark ocean, a U.S. Navy Avenger aircraft picked up its signal. The pilot looked down into the night and saw a faint shape breaking the water's surface. The Avenger Dove. A depth charge exploded at the submarine's bow. The ocean shook. Metal screamed. Inside I-52, 95 men fought for their lives as water slammed into the flooded compartments. Trying to escape, the submarine desperately dived. But the Americans had one more weapon. The Fido torpedo. Released a Fido torpedo, quiet, patient, and deadly. Minutes later, shockwaves rippled through the deep. I-52 was gone. The Germans never saw it. Only the bubbles and oil rising in silence. For 53 years, I-52 was a ghost story. Historians debated what happened. Treasure hunters whispered about the gold sealed inside. Families of the crew waited, hoping for answers that never came. Until 1998. Using advanced sonar and remote submersibles, a team of explorers from the private American company Nauticors Corporation, funded in part by the U.S. Navy's Office of Naval Research, found a massive object 17,000 feet underwater, deeper than the Titanic. It was the I-52. The bow section was heavily damaged. A portion of the hull was cracked. The wreck, however, was not completely torn apart. Inside, the interior was undisturbed. But this was not a treasure. It was a grave. Japan officially declared the site a war cemetery, protected by international law. I-52 would remain where it belonged, with the men who had sailed aboard her. Today, the story of I-52 stands as one of the most haunting tales of the Second World War. The Golden Submarine was not lost because of greed, but because of a war that swallowed millions. And today, lying in the quiet of the Atlantic, I-52 reminds us that beneath every wreck is a human story. A story of duty. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the past, don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you never miss a new story from the depths of history linked with technology. Have another mystery you want us to uncover? Drop your suggestions in the comments below. I am your host Jessa Remy Augustine. Until next time, keep exploring.